Whatever food system we take, water forms the base. It's present in substantial amounts and therefore contributes to chemical changes. The idea behind understanding properties and function of water in foods is either to facilitate its removal or to promote its association with other molecules in order to extend the shelf life of a product. The chemical formula of water is H2O. Water is formed by combining two molecules of hydrogen with a molecule of oxygen. The atomic number of hydrogen is 1 and that of oxygen is 8. So the electronic shell diagram of these two elements looks something like this as shown in the figure here. You can see that oxygen, it has 2 electrons in the inner shell and 6 electrons in the valence shell. Hydrogen has only a single electron. So hydrogen requires 1 electron to form a complete duplet structure and oxygen requires 2 electrons to form a complete octet structure. This results in oxygen trying to draw electrons from 2 hydrogen atoms due to its higher electronegativity, meaning higher affinity for electrons, leaving hydrogen with a partial positive charge. And because of this, hydrogen atoms exhibit characteristics of bare proton. Another peculiarity of water molecule is the sp3 hybridization of oxygen. So sp3 hybridization of oxygen results in a tetrahedral structure so as to minimize electronic repulsion between the two elements. With this pretext in mind, let's get to understanding the physical properties of water. Now we know that oxygen in water is sp3 hybridized. So hybridization is nothing but redistribution of energy in the orbitals of an atom. sp3 hybridized molecules should generally impart a tetrahedral structure to the molecule. Nevertheless, in case of water, this does not happen due to presence of 2 lone pairs of electrons that tend to push the hydrogen bond slightly downward in the form of letter V. And the bond angle that is formed is around 104 degree compared to the normal tetrahedral bond angle of 109 degrees. Now, the high electronegativity and presence of lone pair of electron can influence physical properties of water. Let's see how. The covalent bond that is formed between hydrogen and oxygen, it is highly ionic in nature. So covalent bond is essentially formed by sharing of electrons between the two elements, and ionic bonds are formed by transfer of electrons between two elements. The electronegativity of oxygen is so high, oxygen is so eager to draw electron towards itself to complete octet structure that electrons of hydrogen, they are almost in the vicinity of orbitals of oxygen rather than the hydrogen. As a result, we know that hydrogen carries a slightly positive charge, making water a permanent dipole. Now, this high dielectric constant has several implications in the food industry. A classic example would be the non-uniform heating of food rich in water when placed in a microwave. The second important feature of water is when you look at the Lewis dot structure of water, we see that water has equal number of hydrogen bond acceptor and donor sites, resulting in formation of a 3D network. On the other hand, molecules of similar size, let's talk about ammonia and hydrogen fluoride, they can only form 2D structures, which could be partly attributed to the number of lone pairs of electrons that these molecules have. If we look at, for instance, the Lewis dot structure of these molecules, we see that ammonia has 1 hydrogen bond acceptor site, which is represented here by 1 lone pair of electrons, and 3 hydrogen bond donor sites, which are represented by 3 hydrogen bonds that are formed between nitrogen and hydrogen. In case of hydrogen fluoride, we see that it has 3 lone pair of electrons which act as hydrogen acceptor site and 1 hydrogen bond donor site represented by fluoride and hydrogen bond. These characteristics can explain the high boiling melting point of water in comparison with other small molecules. Next, it's important to understand the structure of water and ice as it has several implications. Now, the question consideration is water a highly dynamic system? Water dissociates into hydrogen and hydronium ions because of movement of proton from one water molecule to another due to higher electronegativity of oxygen. Hydronium ions have a tendency to form strong hydrogen bonds. Hydroxyl ions are also transported from one water molecule to another water molecule, but they are much slower than transfer of protons. This implies that water is a highly dynamic system because of movement of protons and hydroxyl ions. The second question for consideration is ice a dynamic or static system? Generally, solids are expected to exhibit a static behavior, but this is not the case with ice. In fact, the mobility of protons within ice is much higher than the mobility of protons within water. This could partly be explained because the structure of ice is deformed. Ice crystals are not perfect and symmetrical. This also goes on to explain why thermal conductivity changes only by a small value when water freezes. Ice is a dynamic system due to vibration of water molecules in its place. This can be further corroborated by ice crystals growing in size when stored for a long time, a phenomena called oswald ripening, and has implications in frozen food industry. Now, both ice and water, they are considered highly structured molecules due to presence of hydrogen bridges. Some of the major differences between the two can be attributed to two important concepts. One is concept of coordination number and the other one is concept of coordination distance. So coordination number is number of neighbors present near a water molecule. Water can combine with 4 other water molecules to form a 3-dimensional structure. And coordination distance is the distance between hydrogen bond and sp3 hybridized oxygen. Now, when we heat ice, it tends to melt. So there is a change in coordination number due to increased distance between molecules. This has an important consequence when we talk about the density of water. In general, solids are expected to have greater density than water as molecules are closely packed. But this is not the case with water. This can be explained by iceberg floating on water, as density is affected by number of molecules surrounding the water when the temperature is between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius. So the effect of coordination number on density is much more dominant than effect of coordination distance on density between temperatures of 0 and 4 degrees Celsius. That's why you see that density of water is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius. Now, water and ice, they are highly structured and they have 3-dimensional hydrogen bond network, because of which water has higher melting and boiling point. The physical properties of water have many implications in real life. The poor instant properties of powders can be explained by difference in solubility of different molecules in water and its interaction with other molecules. Long thawing of frozen foods can be explained by difference in thermal conductivity of ice and water. Third, use of steam as a heating medium can be explained by high heat capacity and latent heat of vaporization. And finally, increase in volume during freezing can be explained by expansion of water when frozen. Thank you for staying with me through the video. In case you have any queries, please feel free to put them in the comment section and I'll get back at the earliest.